All right, good evening, everybody. This is Pastor Stamps of the Stamps Family YouTube channel. Today, my wife has asked me to demonstrate and show you guys my homemade vegetable, chicken, beef soup, whatever you want to call it. Currently, in here where we're from in New Orleans, there's a cool front or a cold front that's coming this way. And we're not used to being in the 30s and in the 20s. So the temperatures are going to drop for the next maybe week or so. And so I decided to make some of my famous soup. And to be honest with you, I'm probably the only one in the house that may even eat it. So I'll probably eat on this for the whole week. And so just to give you an idea of some of the ingredients that I have, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to season this, which is our chicken thighs. This is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to season this and I'm going to saute them for preparation to go into the soup. Okay, this is our boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I've already kind of pre-cooked our top sirloin. Took a couple of pieces of top sirloin and I kind of pre-cooked them already to prevent, for the sake of time rather. Okay, so we have top sirloin there. That's our meats that's going into the soup. And of course, here we have our mixed vegetables, which consist of corn, peas, green beans, and carrots. I have a pack of whole carrots in the refrigerator. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, and I may add them, I may not. But I want the soup to really have the same consistency as it relates to the vegetables. Okay, all right. And so here, of course, we have, and some people don't add this to their soup, but I love mushrooms. I like mushrooms rather. So I'm going to add some mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, I believe these are. I'm going to add these to the soup. And here is our Trinity. Here in Louisiana, we call it the Trinity, which is onion, bell pepper, and celery. This will go in our soup. All right, so I'm probably going to saute that in some olive oil, kind of get it real tender. And of course, here we have about, I don't know how many, it's about 3 containers of the chicken broth. I'm not sure of the measurements of it, if it's a quart or, I know it's not a gallon, but it might be a pint. I'm not sure what it is. I forgot to get that for you guys, but whatever chicken broth you may use of your choice. And of course here, I have some spaghetti noodles, which will go in. This will be the last thing that goes in. And I didn't get a thick spaghetti because I didn't want the spaghetti to take up the consistency of the soup. I got a thin spaghetti. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with a V, vermicelli or whatever it is. I'm not sure that's the correct pronunciation of it, but I got a thin spaghetti noodle that will go in at the end. So just some of the seasonings that you know so you'll know what we're using. We're using bay leaves to go in. Of course, we have our seasoned salt that we will season the broth. We have parsley, sea salt, and of course, garlic powder. All right. So those are the seasonings that we'll use that will go into the soup. Now, you use the seasons according to taste. You put it in, and whatever it gets to the taste that you desire. Okay, I don't do measurements. Y'all gotta understand that ain't how we do it here in Louisiana. It ain't a teaspoon and add a teaspoon. It's add to taste. So it might be a whole lot of and a little bit of. So that's how we do it here. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do here is I have a head of cabbage. All right. So I took the big leaves of cabbage off of the off of the cabbage already, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these big pieces of cabbage to get it out of the way. All right, it's gonna take long. And for a lady telling me I need to hurry up, so that way I can get through the majority of this video, hopefully within a 30-minute time frame. And I believe I'm going to make it. I'm going to try to do less talking as it relates to anything outside of the meal. And so here it is, cutting up the cabbage. And I like cabbage in my soup. Now, some of you, depending upon where you are around the country, you may use some other type of vegetables. Some people use turnips. I did a video last week about dealing with some other turnips. Some people use turnips. Potatoes. Some people use potatoes. Some people use, what else on maybe? So you might put tomatoes in your soup. This is not going to be a tomato-based soup because I don't really, the red gravy kind of gives me a heartburn, so I'm not going to deal with that. All right, so here it is. I cut up the head of cabbage. Not too much because you don't want to overpower the soup with a whole lot of anything. All right, so here it is. Here go the cabbage. I'm cutting the cabbage. Just a little bit of cabbage. All right, and so put the cabbage in like that. That is going to be lovely. Woo, that's going to be lovely. All right, so that cabbage is going to cook down into the soup. I want the soup with plenty of vegetables. So let me go over to the sink. I'll rinse this out real quick. All right, I'll rinse this out. And next, hopefully my assistant will bring me my potato. I need 2 potatoes to go inside of the soup. If I can get 2 potatoes. Matter of fact, let's do this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of the way. And what I'll do, I'll go ahead and show you how I season the, let me move this out. How I season the chicken. So I'll take my, let me drain the water off, which I should have did. Thank you so much. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll season with garlic powder. All right, garlic powder will go in here. Matter of fact, let me turn the stove on. Garlic powder, and we're going to use seasoned salt. And depending upon where you are around the country, some areas have a particular seasoned salt that may be made locally. I won't give you the name of the one that we use here for the sake of not knowing if I'm able to utilize, tell you the name of the product for the sake of doing this video. So on the safe side, many of you who are from this area probably know one of the most well-known seasonings that we use here in Louisiana. All right, so we're going to put the fire on. So our chicken is seasoned. Our cabbage has been cut up. All right, and so what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, because one thing you want to be careful about, and I know a lot of people who do cooking videos, I don't know if they stress this or not, but you really want to be careful not to cross-contaminate. That is a recipe for disaster, all right? So you don't want to cross-contaminate. And so I've washed my hands, amen, to prevent cross-contamination. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and grease the pan with olive oil, okay? Olive oil, I'll grease the pan with olive oil, kind of get that started. Amen. As we begin to saute our chicken just to get it started. Usually when you do things like that, I know a lot of people, some people, they put the chicken in raw and let it boil with the soup, and some people do the same with the beef. And I don't want to do that because it's kind of late here and I don't want to be up all night just waiting for everything just to come together. So I kind of cheated just a little to pre-cook some of these meats so that way we won't have to wait around. So the vegetables, all of those are fresh. Throw them in fresh. You have to saute your vegetables. None of that. You want the vegetables to cook within the soup, so that way the vegetables will get into the broth and gives the broth the flavor that is desired for homemade soup. All right, so this shouldn't take long. Amen. Listen, I clean as I go. So if you see me walk away from the screen every now and again, that's because I'm rinsing or washing out my dish. All right. All right. So we're sauteing our chicken. And thighs are a little different. Some people like to use chicken breast, which is white meat. I think that dark meat, which is the thighs, gives the soup a better flavor. I think it, because you know sometimes white meat can be kind of dry, and you got to be careful. If you cook it too long, it'll break up. So I don't want to do too much of that. That's why I went ahead and did the chicken thighs. All right. And so again, let me get. All right. Let's see. Let me get my little spatula here, so we can move these chicken breasts. I'm sorry, chicken thighs around. Oh yeah. And basically, you just want to see what I'm doing here. Basically, you just want to kind of brown your chicken thighs. You don't want to cook them to complete where they become tender. Just want to get them started. And so what we're going to do is, once we get this the way we want it, I'll move this out of the way and I'll bring my pot over and heat the pot up. And again, we'll get started sauteing our season, and then we'll go with our broth, and we'll add in the rest of the ingredients and put the top on, cover it, and simmer and let it cook down. So I'm roughly 13 minutes in. All right, so we're not doing bad on time. Now listen, for some of you mothers and even some of you dads that may work from home because of the pandemic, this is a easy meal. And I'm gonna tell you, the best thing to do is really cook this early in the morning. Why? Because you'll have a lot more time for your soup to cook on a consistent medium fire for a long period of time. And that way you want the flavors to marry one another, to come together, become one. And I'm talking about awesome. And I guarantee you, and your children would enjoy it, because what I do, some people like soup with crackers, but I guess I'm a kid at heart. I love soup with grilled cheese sandwiches. Oh my goodness. I'll probably come back on and do a little mukbang after the completion of the soup. May do that tomorrow night. Me and First Lady will sit down and probably do a little mukbang. And we'll probably sit down and eat some soup. She don't care too much for soup, but maybe she'll sacrifice on tomorrow night. And we'll do a mukbang and just kind of show you. Okay, so we're almost there as it relates to the chicken thighs. You see the color of it? All right, it's kind of a light brown complexion. Basically, you want to make sure that you cook the meat from its raw stage. All right, and Yeah, I'm telling you, chicken thighs is used. I prefer, a lot of people like white meat, but I prefer the chicken thighs. Chicken thighs gives it a nice consistency when you bite into the meat and while you're drinking the soup. Gives it a nice consistency. All right, so we're almost there. All right, we're almost there. Let's let it cook a little while longer. All right. So what else do we need? Okay, let me do this. While we're doing that, I got the potatoes, and depending upon, I'm probably gonna need maybe one more. Peeling the potatoes. That way it'll be ready. And I'm just gonna rinse them off. I'm gonna cut them and I'll rinse them off and add them. Now some people like to cut them up big, and I think that's what I'm going to do for the sake of identifying the potatoes. Can I have about one big one, please, if you don't mind? Okay. So that way we can identify the potatoes, because at the end of the day, it's probably going to be, I'm the only one that probably will eat it. I might be able to convince Ashton to eat a bowl along with some grilled cheese sandwich. Let's see. Can I get one more? All right. All right. So we're almost there with our chicken. All right. So the chicken is done, as far as I'm concerned. As far as with the consistency that I'm looking for. So we bring the pot over, and what we want to do is we grease it, the bottom of it with a little olive oil, and we're going to let that heat up a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and put our vegetables in there. I mean, our seasoning, onion, bell pepper, and celery. All right, and a lot of people like celery in big pieces in soup. I don't. I want it all to cook in real good. It's going to give us an excellent flavor. The way the soup is going to be seasoned, and the key is having a consistency of vegetables within the soup. That's going to bring a great taste to the soup. I'm telling you, I can eat this every day. I mean, I can eat soup almost every day if they let me. All right, so let me rinse this off, and I'll go ahead and cut the potatoes. All right, and I'll show you that, guys, when I'm finished, because I have the pot in the way. All right, so I want the potatoes to be cut a nice size. So all the potatoes have this size and consistency. All right, so that we can recognize the potatoes. And I'm telling you, the soup will not take long. I mean, you probably cook this soup for about an hour, and it'll be done. Right? Yes, this is all right. You don't want to overpower it with too much. Too much of anything, because it'll take away from the soup. And I think this is perfect for what we're looking for in this soup. This soup is going to be full of vegetables. And I'm telling you, it is going to be, as JJ would say, dynamite. Yes, yes, yes. So listen, I need you guys to frequently visit us and support our page. and we enjoy what we do, and we're glad that you're able to see a part of our life from this perspective. Okay, here it is. Watch this now. All right, I think it's ready. So what I want to do is, I'm not gonna use all of this. All right, I'm not gonna use all of this seasoning. So we put that back. All right, we rinse this off. Wash this off. Now I can go ahead and move that around on the side of the pot. All right. Y'all hear that? Mm-hmm. I really should have got a bigger pot. We're gonna saute these onions down. Get it to So the only thing I'm really gonna do is, I got 9 minutes left. So just to give you an idea of how this thing is going to come together, basically what I'm going to do is once I saute my onions and my my onions down, I'm gonna add the meat to it. I'll add the meat to it. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I can start doing that right now because the onions are cooking down. So I don't know how we're gonna handle. I think, yeah, there it is. Okay, so look, I'm gonna add my chicken. And I'm gonna add my couple of pieces of beef. Oh my goodness. Oh man. So we're just gonna take this round out because I want the chicken and the beef to marry with the seasoning. All right. Cook that together for a little bit. All right. Let cook down just a little. All right. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken broth in. Once I add the chicken broth in, I'll take my little seasonings like garlic powder, the seasoned salt. I'll drop my bay leaves in there and my parsley flakes, and I would allow this soup to cook for at least, I say about 30 minutes. I'll let it cook for about 30 minutes with the top on, along with the soup and the broth. I mean the broth, the broth, the vegetables, and the seasoning, and I'll let it cook for about 30 minutes. And what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll add my vegetables. Once I add my vegetables, which consist of peas, carrots, corn, and green beans, I'll add that and I'll let that cook a while in the soup for maybe about 15, 20 minutes. Then after that, I'll come back and I'll add our mushrooms. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, I'll add our cabbage in along with the mixed vegetables. And then the last thing I'll put in as far as the vegetables will be the potatoes, and then the very last thing after that will be our spaghetti. All right, so I got roughly about 6 minutes left. All right. Huh? Okay. Yes. It's coming together. Oh, it's coming together. Ha ha. Oh, this is going to be absolutely delicious. All right. So what are we going to do here? All right. We're going to take our chicken broth. Pour our chicken broth in. Are you ready? Watch it. Oh, yeah. Take our chicken broth. We add our chicken broth in. All right. And so what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to cover this and let this cook for a while. All right. And what I'll do, the seasoning and the chicken and the beef will cook, and all of those flavors will marry and come together. And then after that, I'll come back and I'll put in the mixed vegetables and the mushrooms and the cabbage. And so I didn't use much cabbage. Now listen, let me tell you, you don't have to necessarily have measurements as it relates to what you want to put inside of your soup. You could put as many potatoes as you want. You could put as much vegetables you want. All you have to do is just make sure that you have the right pot size to accommodate whatever it is that you're going to put in. And so what you want to do is, the important part of it is to make sure that you have enough juice, to be able to have a nice pot of stew. All right. So I'm going to let this cook down a little while longer. And so we're right at the end of our video. All right. And I usually, if it's something quick, we'll go ahead and kind of show you the finished product within the 30 minutes. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back with part 2. All right. We're going to come back with part 2 after I put everything in and it gets close to the end of the soup finishing. I'll come back and take about maybe another 15 minutes and just kind of let you know how it turned out. And then I'll go over again the ingredients of everything that I put in. Hey, listen, come back, tune in for part 2 of Pastor Stamp's homemade vegetable, beef, and chicken soup. See you in a minute.